Bam, 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 bam. Yahoo! Bam, 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 bam. I said, bam, 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 bam. Yahoo! Bam, 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 bam. Celebrate good times. Come on. Bam, 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 bam. Said I. Celebrate good times. Come on. Burn up, burn, burn. We're going to celebrate now. I don't know if you guys heard the news. I don't know if you have heard yet. But NASA, that's right, NASA has announced that the International Space Station is coming down in the year 2031. That's cause to celebrate, y'all. They're going to retire the International Space Station in 2031, according to NASA. Wow, that is some news right there. It's time to celebrate. We're going to have a good time tonight. Yeah, let's celebrate. Ooh, it's all right. Oh, that's right. We're going to have a good time tonight because they retired the International Space Station. Yeah, come on now. Celebrate good times. Come on. Burn, burn, burn. We're going to have a good time. Celebrate good time. Come on. Burn, burn, burn. NASA suck my balls, yeah. There's a party going on right here. Let's celebrate now to last throughout the year. Cause the space station's gonna be retired in the year 2031. And that's why we're gonna have a lot of freaking fun, yeah. Celebration. We're gonna have a good time tonight. It's all right. So this is real news. I'm bringing you guys the facts. I heard yesterday, this was brought to my attention. NASA intends to keep the International Space Station up and running through the end of 2030. And then after 2030, they are going to crash it, purposely crash it into the Pacific Ocean at a spot known as Point Nemo. So in 2031, apparently, they're going to crash the space station purposely into the ocean. Seems kind of a weird thing to purposely crash the space station. But that's what NASA plans to do. Now, I'm not just making this up for views. You can go do your own research. This is the actual news or fake news, whatever you want to call it. But you can go verify this yourself. All the major mainstream media outlets have reported on this, so we definitely know it's true. So they are planning to purposely crash the International Space Station into the ocean. So what does that mean? Because if we know that there's no International Space Station in space because outer space is fake, the International Space Station is fake, well, then we know that they're probably not going to really crash it into the ocean. So they're going to fake crash it into the ocean, possibly. That's a possibility that they're actually going to fake crash the fake station into the real ocean. They won't fake the ocean. I think they'll use the real ocean and then drop something into the water. In fact, you could do the whole thing CGI. You could fake the ocean. I bet the whole thing could just be CGI. You just have some CGI, hit some CGI ocean, tell the people that it's real. And then they're like, I remember I saw the day when the International Space Station crashed into the ocean. So that's the recent plan. And right now you have two space stations. A lot of people don't realize we have the International Space Station, and then we have the Chinese space station. So let me paint this out for you. apparently in 2011, the Chinese got banned from the International Space Station, and they're not allowed to be on the International Space Station. So basically, the United States and any other country that has a space program and has astronauts who go along with the fake space bull crap that they're all on board with. Apparently, China's not allowed. China's not allowed on the same International Space Station. But they have a space station of their own in fake outer space where they fake it even worse than on the regular International Space Station. So if you look at the Chinese space station footage, it's way worse and 10 times more terrible than the NASA footage. So we have two space stations, and they're both going along with the same fake space story. So, according to the United States, that it's a national security measure. They're banning China because of national security. They don't want the Chinese to be on the same International Space Station because they're, like our pseudo enemies. They're like pretend bad guys. So the Chinese aren't allowed on the same International Space Station because it's a matter of national security. That's the propaganda that we're given. But that is the mainstream media's words, basically verbatim, is it's national security reason they've banned China from the International Space Station. So China goes and builds their own fake space station where they also pretend that they're in fake space, just doing it 10 times worse, as I said. And so it's funny that these are supposed to be our enemy. Yet if they were really our enemy, why wouldn't they expose the fake space done by the Americans? Why wouldn't they expose the fake moon landing done by the Americans? Oh no, it's because they're all in on it together. They're all in on it together. So if you think that any of these countries are actually enemies of the United States, they're really not, because they're all going along with the exact same fake space story. The exact same one. So if you're sitting here thinking, oh, we might go to war with China. Yeah, but it'll be a controlled war. It'll be their low-level civilians shooting our low-level civilians in the form of soldiers, of course. The civilians sign up to become soldiers. It's not the elite who go around and do the fighting. And then the fighting is controlled, and it's funded and backed by the bankers. All right. Got a donation coming in from John X says, celebrate today with Rusty. Hey, thank you for the donation. And Rusty is here. Oh, there he is. Go up, up. Let's say hi to the people, Rusty. We're going to celebrate today with the good dog. Celebrate with a good dog like Rusty. He wants to eat a freaking hot dog. Rusty wants to eat a freaking hot dog. All right. Here we go. Ooh, hot dog, 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 dog. He wants a hot dog. He wants a hot dog. This dog wants a hot dog. They don't call them hot dogs for no reason. Num, num, num. Oh, num, num. All right, Rusty. Here you go. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. He loves them, and they're cheap, so I usually have a package laying around so I can give him a couple a day. He likes them. They're not the best for dogs, but they aren't that terrible either. They're better than the crunchy, crappy dog food that most people feed their dogs. But don't just feed your dog nothing but hot dogs. That's bad. But as a treat once in a while, it's all right. And he loves them. All right. All right, you want to lay down? He was laying down. All right. All right. So let me get back to the story for those of you just now joining us. Oh, and hit the like button if you're just now joining us. Smash the like button. Let's get that algorithm stroking. Smash that like button here. All right. So, for those of you just now joining us, NASA has announced that in 2031, they're bringing down the space station. They're going to purposely crash it into the Pacific Ocean at a spot they call Point Nemo. Now, I have to ask you this. Do you really think that they're actually going to like crash something into the ocean? Like, do you think they're gonna like drop something into the ocean and have that like plunk splash just to trick people? Or will they just use a bunch of CGI and make it look like the International Space Station is crashing into the ocean? Or here's another option: the space station could have some sort of catastrophe between now and then. We could see some sort of catastrophe go down, and they maybe have to evacuate the ISS and abandon the ISS. So, whenever I see a story like this that says, oh, in the year 2031, we're going to do XYZ, they've been saying that they're going to go back to the moon for the last 20, 30 years, and they just keep pushing back the date. We're going to go back to the moon in 2050. We swear we're going back to the moon in 2180. We swear. We're going back to the moon in 20,000 billion. The year 20,000 billion is when we're going back to the moon. So they just keep pushing the goalposts back. So it makes me wonder that, they could always extend the International Space Station's lifespan, or they could shorten it. So within the next few years, they could have some sort of catastrophe, let's say, where they have to evacuate all of the crew members. And then they could just like make up some sort of reason like, oh, we're going to attach a rocket thruster to it and just crash it into the ocean and just shoot it back downwards into the ocean, and it's done. So they could do this sooner than their announcement date, even possibility, just throwing out possibilities. And they wouldn't even have to really crash anything into the ocean. They could probably do it all with CGI, and people would buy it. I mean, shit. If you look at the stuff that they're doing on the International Space Station right now, it's pretty pathetic what they're getting away with as calling it real. And the sheep seem to just eat that up. Like, you still have these astronauts when they float around, they're like, yeah, look at this bag of water. Woo! Well, look, it's going to form a spear. Woo! All right. Like, they'll stand like this. Have you ever seen them stand like this? Like, who fucking stands like that? Nobody stands like that. When you stand, nobody goes like this. And they're like, oh, no, Jake, it's because they're in space. Nobody holds their hand like this naturally, but they do it on the ISS. All the crew members, you'll see at some point, they're like, yes. It's like, that's not natural. None of that movement makes any sense. And so I see how unnatural everything they do is. Look at the way I move my hands and how I flow when I talk. If I want to do a little slippity slooge, slippity whoppity, skippity hoppity, see? But they're always like, you have to be like this when you're in space. It's like, dude, just flow around naturally like it's water. Just flow naturally. Woo! They should easily just be flowing like water. No, they're always. And then they always do that backflip that's so synchronized and practiced and rehearsed. Like, why? And they still have to put on these presentations like, look, we're going to play with water in the space station. Why? You guys have been up there since the late 90s. Why do we even need to see it? So if you believe that the space station is real and that they're really in there, why do they have to play with water in the year 2022 just to prove they're in space? Look, guys, the water's floating around. It's almost like they're purposely shoving it in the face of those of us who are woke and those of us who understand that it's a fraud, that it's a hoax. It's almost like they're just slapping us in the face with it purposely. Smegma Smear with a with a donation says, "Hey, Gistay, I miss you." Well, I miss you too, and thank you for the donation. I miss everyone who misses me. But if you don't miss me, well, then I don't miss you. But if you do, then I do. But you don't, then I don't, because that's the way I operate around here. Which reminds me of a little song, which I'm going to sing just a piece of. I've been holding that long, I've been sleeping all alone, Lord, I'll miss you. I've been holding on the bone, I've been talking on the bone, ain't no kiss you. All right. What's the matter, man? We gonna come around here with some Puerto Rican chicks who's just dying to meet you. Gonna make a case of wine. Do it all the time like we used to. All right. Sorry. Had to do that real quick. All right. So, for those of you just joining the party and missed the big news, NASA is retiring the International Space Station in 2031. They're going to purposely crash it into the ocean. Doesn't that seem dangerous to purposely crash the International Space Station into the ocean? Seems to me, you know what would be a lot less dangerous? Just giving it a rocket thrust out that way into, infinite space where there's no chance it's going to accidentally land on anyone's head. So if we want to believe their fake story that they're going to crash the ISS into the ocean, it's like, why? Why wouldn't you just attach a rocket thruster to it and shove it out that way? Just shove it on out to the infinite void of infinite space and it'll just go out there. I mean, what's it going to do? Crash into some other faraway Earth a billion years from now? As if. No. Actually, according to somebody who believes in outer space, if you shot the ISS into the infinite abyss, theoretically, it would eventually have to hit a planet. Or be sucked into a black hole. It's theoretically impossible to believe any other thing is statistically capable of happening. There was somebody over in Pat Truthner's chat. I was over on another channel in a chat over on Pat Truthner's chat who does NFL breakdowns and stuff. And he was doing a live stream. And there was one guy who said, it's statistically impossible for aliens to not exist. It's like, okay, so you're coming from the mindset still that the galaxy goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. And there's infinite amounts of planets and galaxies to go on forever. So there has to be other life forms and aliens out there. So I had to break it down to him that the universe and space might not go on forever. And he's like, "You believe in flat Earth?" I don't like that when you tell somebody a fact, like you don't know that the universe doesn't go on forever. They go, "Oh, you're one of those flat earthers." It's like, whoa, don't make that jump yet. I just told you that you don't know the universe goes on forever, and now you're going to assume that I believe in a pancake floating around in space, and you're going to think that I believe in a pancake in your head, and you're going to dismiss the fact that you don't know that the universe goes on forever. You just assume it does. So, talking to anybody who just assumes that the universe goes on forever, they have a tendency to think shit like aliens have to exist because the universe goes on forever and there's just so many galaxies and so many planets and so many stars and it just goes on forever. So, statistically, that means there has to be aliens. Lots of them. Just billions and billions of aliens. See, it's like that mindset is just like it's actual retardism. And then the minute you tell them, well, how do you know that it goes on forever? They go, oh, you're one of them flat earthers. It's like, screw you, dude. Stick to the subject I'm talking about. All right. Oh, yeah. So, I was looking up information on when the Chinese were going to retire their space station, and I couldn't find any information about a year when the Chinese are going to take down their space station. So right now, what we have going on is we have the International Space Station, and they're releasing videos that look terrible and fake, badly fake. And then we have the Chinese space station, which releases videos that are the worst, fakest looking damn fake space videos that you can find. It's the fakest shit you ever saw. And so you have two space stations releasing regular content, proving that they're faking it, basically, for those of us with eyes to see. And NASA has announced they're going to retire this International Space Station by crashing it. But the Chinese haven't announced that they're going to retire their space station. So then we're left to wonder, are we going to be stuck in 10 years with just the Chinese space station? No, apparently a bunch of commercial organizations are going to make low Earth orbit stations. That's right. So NASA, according to NASA, they're going to exit the space station game, but they're going to help and assist private companies with low orbit stations. That's right. Let me get you the official word on this article that I found. It says NASA said that commercially operated space platforms would replace the ISS as a venue for collaboration and scientific research. And NASA Director of Commercial Space at NASA headquarters says the private sector is technically and financially capable of developing and operating commercial low orbit destinations. That's what they're calling it. Commercial low orbit destinations. With NASA's assistance, we look forward to sharing our lessons learned and operations experience with private sector to help them develop safe, reliable, and cost-effective destinations in space. Destinations in space. And this is straight off of CNN, so you know it's reputable. All right. So right off of CNN's website, NASA is announcing that they're going to be helping and assisting private companies who are going to create and operate commercial low orbit destinations. commercial low orbit destinations. That's their words. If you break that down and you think about it, commercial destination. Like what, a low orbit McDonald's? You're gonna go to the low orbit space McDonald's. I paid $5,000 to go to the low orbit space McDonald's for like a minute and a half. It was life changing. And I ordered a McFlurry and a Big Mac, and then I shat my pants on the way back down. I wish I was there with William Shatner while I shat my. Oh boy. And I wish that this was all fake news, but you know that people believe it. And when people believe it, it's like it becomes real in their heads. So you could sit there and know that it's fake. But to the majority of the people in the world, that's a real thing that's going to happen. They're going to crash the space station into the ocean, man. Hey. Lee anti-NWO says, yes, crash that fake shit. He's like, I don't care if they fake crash it, just get it out of there. We're done with it. Hey, here's the problem, Lee. They're going to replace it with basically like SpaceX versions of the same thing. So now you're going to have these little low orbit mini pods that you can go technically visit. So they're going to be like, oh, today this celebrity and this celebrity and these random civilians all went up and visited the low orbit destination center brought to you by Bill Gates and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Will Smith and Melinda Gates. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything funny to go along with that. So it's going to be private sector. And so when they say private, it's still the government. The same way SpaceX is still the government. So what they do is they trick you by saying, oh, yeah, these are private companies. They aren't the government. But then NASA totally says, oh, but we're going to work with SpaceX. And we're going to work hand in hand. Well, then you are the fucking same thing, right? So there's always somebody who's like, SpaceX isn't the government. Elon Musk is not a government agent. He's not an actor. It's like, yes, huh? NASA works hand in hand with SpaceX. So NASA is the government. And when they work hand in hand with SpaceX or any space organization or entity, well, then that means that entity or organization is working with the government, making them the government. Duh. So whenever these private sectors are going to work with NASA, well, that just means it's the government disguised as a private company. And see, then they have these companies with figureheads like Elon Musk or Dr. Evil, Mr. Google. So they have Bezos. It's like I couldn't think of it. It's like his name escaped. So they have Bezos, who's basically modeled after Dr. Evil. And so these guys are figureheads in front of a company or an idea. And so basically the figurehead is the lightning rod for all the attention. So I've talked about this before. I'll bring it up again. If you have a guy, let's say Elon Musk, standing in front of SpaceX, people are going to aim their attention at Elon Musk rather than at SpaceX, the company itself. So you aim your praise and your love at Elon Musk, and you aim your hatred and your criticism at Elon Musk, and he's just this character there who can absorb all that and make you think that he's the man in charge, he's the man running things, when really he's just there to accept your praise or your criticism. Does that make sense? The same way a Mickey Mouse stands in front of the Disney brand. The same way Neil deGrasse Tyson stands in front of mainstream science. You see, these are figureheads placed in front of an organization or an idea, and they're purposely placed there. And you have a guy like Elon Musk who like goes on Joe Rogan's podcast, who we all know is a sellout and a shill, and they'll have this fake cool guy conversation about fake cool ideas. We're gonna like smoke some weed and talk about some really hip, cool stuff because like Joe Rogan is so popular and all these men love him so much and idolize him. And then all these men love Elon Musk so much. So we're just gonna like hang out and like smoke a joint and be like the two coolest dude shills ever. Talk about like all these cool subjects and stuff. And you're gonna eat out of our cool guy hands. And you know what? By the millions, tens of millions of people are like, yeah, Joe Rogan and Elon Musk. Oh my God, they're so smart and so entertaining and so funny. Want to lick their balls all day. And so they effectively have just tens of millions of the modern man just eating out of their hands, just as they were rolled out to do. I mean, a guy like Joe Rogan was rolled out there to captivate the minds of the modern young man. And there's countless dudes who will like listen to that dude's show. Yeah, like we're not going to talk about the earth being flat because that's crazy. That's crazy talk. I mean, I would kill my own mother if you showed me an alien. If you showed me an alien, I'd kill my own mother. I would. I'd kill my own mother if you showed me an alien. NASA, you listening? Show me an alien. I will kill my own mother and take a shit on her grave right now. I will. I don't think that they went to the moon, but if Neil deGrasse Tyson comes on the show and shoves his big black cock in my mouth, well, then I might just change my mind. Then I might just say that we did go to the moon. Joe Rogan, piece of shit. Joe Rogan actually used to criticize the moon landing. And then one day, Neil deGrasse Tyson showed up and shoved his big black cock in his mouth. And he was like, we totally went to the moon. We totally went to the moon. Totally. Fucking Joe. There's so many guys who like give him a pass and kiss his ass. What? Where do these people's fans like come from? Like, what? Why do people love such untalented hacks nowadays? I look across the internet for somebody to laugh at and enjoy, and I can't find it. I can't find anyone to laugh at and enjoy anymore. And I'm like, okay, the curse of being the most talented, funny guy in the world is that now I don't have anyone else that I can look up to and laugh at. All the comedians that are popular and famous have sold their soul and they suck, and I can't get through like 5 minutes of their set without cringing and shutting it off. It's terrible. That's what sucks about being the funniest dude in the world, is that nothing else is funny anymore. Saul Rosenberg with a donation says they should crash it into some barrio in East LA. It could make a shelter for dozens of homeless tweakers. How dare you? But up, bang. Good one, Saul. Good one, Saul. So Saul wants to crash the International Space Station into East LA. Hey, you know what? The homeless situation in Los Angeles is out of control. If you ever want to blow your own mind, look up Skid Row, Los Angeles. Not the band Skid Row, but actual homeless Skid Row. Look up Skid Row in Los Angeles. Yeah, it's bad. I hate the dew in the morning with a donation says, when was the last time you got laid? Honestly, it was last year. It hasn't been a full year, but it was last year. So since 2022 started, I have not done anything. I've been in this office making videos, and then I take Rusty on a walk, and then I go to the casino and just repeat the process over and over. So in the whole month of January, I have not done anything. Uh, it's been several months since I have done anything with a woman. Several months. But I'm in a different headspace going into my 40s. I'm 38 now. And so my headspace is not about chasing tail as much as it used to be. So in my 20s and early 30s, I was still all about wanting to chase tail, chase women. And now I'm getting to the point in my life where I really want to accomplish some of my goals and some things that I really want to do. And so I realized that a lot of men out there have ruined their lives by getting into a marriage or a relationship that was all wrong and at the wrong time with the wrong person. And so rather than fall into that same trap that many men have fallen into, where you marry somebody who steals half your money, or or you have kids with somebody who you're not really into, or you get into a relationship that uh, sucks 5-10 years out of your life, and then they cheat on you or leave you or devastate you somehow. uh, it's been nice to just be single and do my own thing, and stay focused on my goals. And so to answer your question, it's been several months, but at the same time, I haven't been out actively trying to get laid. So yeah, so there you go. Little personal question, but I'm the type of guy that is truthful. Let's see. Seattle Green says, so will Tom Cruise be uh, making the next movie on the ISS? Yeah, we've talked about this, I think, a couple streams ago. Tom Cruise is supposed to be filming a Hollywood movie on the International Space Station. And so my question is, if the International Space Station footage that we're getting looks terrible and fake, how are they going to have a Hollywood movie that's going to look 10 times better? It'll easily look 10 times better. How are they going to have Tom Cruise looking amazing, seamlessly floating around the ISS? And then meanwhile, when we go watch some supposed real footage from the ISS, they're like, whoa. Right? Like that's what they do. If you go watch what they do, it's green screen background, and then they're always just like, "Hi," and they're usually answering a question from like kids at school. Hi, my name is Andrew, and I'm just wondering how you guys eat and drink. Oh, good question, Andrew. So we have these food packets, and we just squeeze them into our mouth, like that. See? Good question, Andrew. So that's what they really do on the ISS, like all day long. We never see them doing like any actual work. That's like all they do is just like play with food packets and then bounce up and down, apparently. That's like their job. Because whenever they're on screen asking or answering questions, it's like they've answered the same shit like for the last 20 years. How do you guys go take a shit up there? Well, good question. We have a little outhouse, and then we put our butt to it, and it's got a vacuum inside there, and it sucks the shit out of our asshole. It's very amazing. It cost about $800 million of your tax money. Next question, right? So that's what goes on the ISS. So they're going to have Tom Cruise supposedly film on the ISS. It's like, hey, why would you have Tom Cruise film on the ISS when you can do fake space here on the ground that looks better than what they're doing on the ISS? They make fake space movies here on the ground already that look better than what they're doing on the ISS, right? Am I right or wrong? They make fake space movies here on the ground that look better than what they're doing on the ISS already. So the ISS looks faker than shit, and NASA footage as compared to a movie here on the ground, the Hollywood movie looks better hands down. For instance, the movie Gravity with Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. Sandra Bullock and George Clooney. You know who I'm talking about. So that movie looked better than anything that they're doing on the International Space Station. So they didn't have to actually go to the International Space Station to film it. It's like they can already make fake space here on the ground, like all the new Star Wars movies and shit, right? So why in the hell would you ever risk someone's life and put somebody who's not a space expert in a situation where they're on board with a camera crew trying to shoot this movie and shit? It doesn't make any sense from any angle unless you're a sheeple, right? If you're a sheeple, you don't think of any of that. You don't run any of that logic through your head even for a second. I am categorically racist. Says, what is you count with how many women you got intimate with? Good question. I actually don't have an exact number. I don't know the exact number because I started being intimate when I was 17 years old with women, and now I'm 38. And over that time period, there were several in there, and I haven't sat down and actually hammered out a list of every single one of them. And there were some of them in there that were forgetful or that I'd like to forget. And so I haven't actually hammered out a list, but I'm not gonna say I'm not in the triple digits as far as a body count goes. So I'm in the double digits, but I'm not in the triple digits. How about that? That's as personal as I'm going to get with that. So more than 10, but less than 99 or less than 100. So it might be 99. It might be 99 or it might be 10. So it's 10 or more or 99 or less. There you go. Somewhere in there. What was funny is one time I was thinking of hammering out a list and I got like 5, 6 names into the list. And then I was like, God, what was the name of that one chick from Jack in the Box? And then I started forgetting chicks' names. So then you have to put on your list, ugly fat bitch from Jack in the Box. on your list to try to remember. It's like, God, that was like 14 years ago. What was her name? And then you'll have the list going, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot that one. And then you'll have to go back and then add in a chick and you forgot, and it screws up your list. You have to go back and scratch out the old names, start over. Wow, this guy's getting personal. Hey man, why do you want to know so much about my love life, bro? That's kind of odd. Why do you care so much about my love life that you want to like know how many women I've been with? I don't think I've ever had anybody show up with super chat donations and ask either of those questions before. Mr. Funny Names. Interesting. All right, guys. So let's get those predictions now. Do you think the International Space Station is going to come down in 2031, like they say, or do you think it comes down prematurely? You think it's going to blow its wad prematurely and come down sooner rather than later? I have this feeling that it's going to come down sooner. I don't know what it is, or that they're going to evacuate. I feel like there's going to be something that goes wrong with it, maybe in the next 3-4 years or so, and they're going to evacuate it, and then it'll be left empty up there, and then they're just going to slowly just phase it out of the news, and then they'll just maybe run like a little story. Yeah, NASA just decommissioned it. They just took it apart and just took all the pieces back down. We decided not to crash it in the ocean. So they could easily just say that they took it apart and decided not to crash it in the ocean. But I feel like we're going to see some sort of evacuation event. I don't know why I feel that way, but call it a hunch that the International Space Station is going to be evacuated. Now, sometimes I get stuff right, and sometimes I make a prediction that doesn't happen. But it's fun just to throw these ideas out there just to see how close you get. Uh, there was a time where I made a joke and said that we don't see the moon with a mini moon of its own. How come the moon doesn't have a mini moon of its own? Are you telling me moons don't have enough gravity to have a mini moon? And then within like a year, NASA created a story where they said that there are indeed mini moons. But they said that our moon doesn't have a mini moon of its own. The Earth has a second mini moon. So the term mini moon was never used by anyone or ever talked about. And then I brought up mini moon, and then NASA, like within a year, said that yes, there are mini moons. And so I have this ability to create the future sometimes with the things I say and think. And I don't think it's a coincidence. I think it is me um, changing the world with my thoughts and ideas. I really do. Is that a bit narcissistic sounding? Sure, but I'm the one who's living in this body who did a comedy bit about mini moons, and then within a year, NASA said yes, there are mini moons. It was like, dude, come on, dude. Um, Sal Rosenberg says casino theme. What's your game of choice? Do you sing at the casino? Have you been practicing your Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro? Um, I am a slot player, and I am an advantage slot player. I only play advantage slots, and I only play when I have the advantage. For those of you who don't know, there are different types of slot machines, and you can walk around, check the buttons on certain machines, and find leftover wilds left on the screen, or a situation where the slot machine is at your advantage for, let's say, the next one or two spins, or even an automatic win where somebody leaves a bunch of wilds up on the screen and then they take their money and walk away. And then you, the next person who walks up for the next spin or two, you get to win automatically because somebody before you was so dumb that they didn't know how to play the machine correctly. And so you can actually be a professional slot machine player. You can be a professional gambler. I know people that walk around looking for these machines where it must hit by a certain amount, and they just sit and wait for these must hit by machines. And if you at the right time jump on the right machines that are about to hit, you can be the one who pumps it until it hits. But you have to be willing to walk around and put in the time and effort. So, like anything, it's a job. And so you can't just walk in and walk up to any machine and just make it spit out money. That's not how it works. So, I'm a slot machine player. I know the ins and outs of certain slot machines and when to play and when not to play. And I have proved on camera that I'm a winner. And anyone who's ever went to the casino with me has seen that I'm a winner. And so I do slots. Now there's a bunch of other people out there who do the same thing, and so there's competition for these machines. And so it's not easy work. You got to walk around and identify the advantages and jump on them immediately. And there's other people out doing the same thing. And so you got to compete with the other people who are smart enough to know how to play. And so that's what I do. I don't sing at the casinos. The casinos that have bands usually have like cover bands and whatnot. And right now I'm just not in a band. So I don't sing in any casinos at the moment. Um, and I haven't practiced Joe Pesci or Robert De Niro lately since a day or two ago. I think a day or two ago is the last time I did those impressions, and I haven't practiced them since then. Thanks for the donation, Saul. Uh, Mr. Funny Name says, "Do you have a problem with my questions? Am I not giving you topics? If you don't like it, tell me." Oh, I don't have a problem with it. They were just a bit personal, but I don't mind if you really want to know. I can play along. But they were slightly personal questions. Just saying. uh, PJC Net says, "I know advantage slot playing is perfectly legal, but could see management getting pissed off with you doing it." Yeah, here's the thing. There are ways to make it look like you're losing. So you can actually play a machine with your card in there. And then when you know you're going to win on the next spin, let's say you have a bunch of wilds up on the screen and you know for a fact the next spin you're going to win, you pull your card out, print your ticket, and then put in a separate bill. So now the casino has you down as pressing the button and losing, and then they don't have you down when you win. So there are games, let's say, that on the 10th spin, all your wilds turn wild. So you could sit there and play 9 spins in a row, and that's 9 spins where you lost. And then on the 10th spin, when you're going to get some money, get a return, possibly win, that's when you would pull your card out, and then the casino doesn't have you down for your wins. So you can actually trick the casino into thinking that you're losing even when you're winning. And these machines, they're designed to suck in money and then spit out like 95% or something. So the casino only gets like 5 or 10% on these machines. So on a lot of these machines, the machine is designed to suck in money and then spit it back out. And then the machine overall keeps like 5, 10%. And so if you just know when to step in front of that machine, if you know how the machines pay and when they pay, you just got to be there to step in front of it at the right time. Now, there's a learning curve. You can't just walk in on day one and know all this shit. You have to like understand which machines are advantage machines and which machines are not. Your classic real machines where you just pull a handle and it goes chink, 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 bar, 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 bell, 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 cherry, cherry, cherry. Those aren't advantage machines.
those are random luck machines. I don't touch them. So you have to only play advantage machines and only when you have the advantage. And if you do that, you're going to win. But you have to be willing to walk around and put in the time and effort. Mr. Funny Names with another donation says, okay, cool. I'm going to sleep now anyway. Night, we'll watch the rest later. Have a good night. Thanks for the donation, sir. I appreciate it. And enjoy your sleep. Enjoy your slumber, sir. A man from Stockton says, yeah, nowadays I'm trying to live my life by the 10 commandments, makes life a little bit different. Yeah, trying to live your life by a higher moral standard can make it challenging, especially with how shitty the world's getting. Um, it's hard for me to stay positive and be in a happy mood when I'm surrounded by sheeple and idiots. And it's hard for me to control my temper sometimes. And so I can be in a great mood. And then I walk out the door and I see a lady sitting inside her vehicle with a muzzle on by herself. And I'm like, stupid lady. God, why are these people so stupid? And it's like, chill, Jake. You're not that lady. Let the lady be stupid. And so I have to like constantly remind myself to not let the stupidity of others bother me so much. So when I see people like at the grocery store, like, where's my Purell? Where's my Purell? Where's my Purell? I'm gonna wipe my grocery cart. I'm gonna wipe this apple with Purell. I'm gonna wipe my oranges with Purell. I'm gonna wipe the egg carton with Purell. I'm gonna drink some Purell. Nom, 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 nom. When I see it, it's like it's hard for me not to get aggravated. And so my daily struggle is what to do with my time, whether to make a video for you guys or whether to just go try to like enjoy my life and have fun. And if I am going to go have fun, where am I going to go and what am I going to do? And when I get there, all it takes is one stupid person with a diaper on their face to piss me off. And so it's like the only way to escape people is to go out in the middle of nowhere. And I'm not the type of guy that gets tons of enjoyment hanging out by myself out in the middle of nowhere. And so it'll be like, okay, if I feel like taking the day off, not making a YouTube video, and just focusing on going to like the beach and having a fun day, it's like, well, when I get there, if I run into a group of people that are all muzzled up, acting like tard muffins, it puts me right back into that pissed off mind state. And it's like, shit, I could have just stayed home and been pissed off. And so no matter where I go, I'm running into sheeple and then just trying to find destinations uh, and things to do that are still fun, where I don't have to like get super high to enjoy it. Seems like everything I want to go do, I have to get super high to enjoy it anymore. I can't just enjoy anything sober anymore. I mean, I could enjoy sleeping with a woman sober, but women don't seem to want to do that as much anymore as they used to. And then the ones that want to, I don't want to. It's one of those deals. Jonna X with a donation says, my sister and I would like to hire you for a gig of conspiracy music and comedy in Reno in late spring. Oh, I think I got your email and I forgot to get back to you. I need to get back to you about that. So that's in my emails that I'm meaning to get back to, and I've slacked on. I apologize for not getting back to you. I'm pretty sure I have your email, and I've been planning on going to Reno. I just don't like going there when it's super cold. So I plan on going there probably within the next month or two anyway. So I could make it a business venture for sure. So I'll definitely get back to your email, and thanks for your donation. You've been a regular donor to this channel recently, and so I want to thank you, Jonna X. In fact, I'm going to sing a special song just for you. Jonna X,
You've been donating to my channel regularly, and I appreciate what you do for me. Ooh, John X, I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. I'm filled with appreciation, and it makes me wanna fart. Ooh, yes, because I appreciate you so much. I'm filled with so much appreciation that it's spewing out my asshole in the form of a fart. And that's just where I'm gonna start, but that's not where it's gonna end, 'cause John X is here and he or she is my friend. Are you a guy or a girl, Jonna X? I want to make sure I got this correct. Are you a guy or a girl, Jonna? And then Paul Hollowcat with a donation says, "You are so funny, bro, and smart at the same time." Thank you for that donation and compliment. That's so nice. Thank you, Paul Hollowcat. Paul Hollowcat said I was so, with a bunch of O's, so funny and smart at the same time. God, I love when I have subscribers that compliment me and send me a donation at the same time. It makes me feel double amazingly good in my heart and soul. All right. Makes me as happy as this guy. All right. Man from Stockton says, "Wow, brother, we are a little bit alike. God bless you. Jake, try not to let these small things bother you. It's hard at first." Yes. So I know that I shouldn't let little things bother me and get to me, and I should be happy-go-lucky. But there's the intense comedian inside me that spots every little thing that happens around me. And so the reason I'm able to bring you guys the level of comedy that I do is because this world pisses me off and irritates me. And um, I have something inside me where I want to express it to you. And I know that you guys deal with a lot of the same issues and insanity that I do. And so I'm able to relay it to you, and you're able to receive it in a very special and unique way that other comedians and other people aren't able to do, if that makes any sense. So I face the same bullshit that you guys face on a daily basis. I face the same um, libtarded sheeple walking around. And so, being that we face the same issues and we probably think alike on a lot of the same terms, um, you're going to be able to identify with my comedy and the things I talk about more so than these Hollywood celebrities shitting out a bunch of propaganda topics, right? Paul Hollowcat says, "Jake, can you do a Donald Trump impersonation, please?" All right, a little Trumpy. Jonna X is a female. Okay. I wasn't sure if it was Jonna male or Jonna female, and so now I know. Thanks, Jonna. All right, Paul Hollowcat. Paul, let me tell you something, Paul. Before I tell you something, I gotta start by saying, let me tell you something. I couldn't possibly tell you something unless I start by saying that I'm gonna tell you something. Now, Paul, what you should do, if I were you and you were me, and trust me, you wish you were me, what you need to do is you need to get the 5th booster. Trust me, I did it. It's good for you. I already had 5, 6 of them already. If anything was to happen or go wrong,
you'd be the first to know. All right? So you need to go ahead and get boosted. All right? And then you need to vote for me in the next upcoming election. All right? If you want things to change, if you want China, let me tell you something. If you want China to pay for your next booster, then you're going to want to vote for me. I'm going to make China pay for your next round of boosters. That's right. China is going to pay for the next round. But if you vote for Sleepy Joe, it's going to come out of your own pocket. All right? So if you want to see China pay for the next round of boosters, then you know who to vote for. But if you vote for Sleepy Joe, you're going to get what you deserve.
Oh my God, he's sent from God. He's God, he's Jesus. He done time traveled and he's here to save us. He's saving all the kids. He's getting rid of all them NWO slumlords. I love that man. He is the best president we done ever had. He's going to have sex with JFK and they're going to create the next race of superhuman president beings. And then they're all going to inject us with lovely goodness boosters and we're going to make China pay for it. We're going to live in the USA and be happy forever. Quanon done told me so. All right. Paul Hollowcat says, you are amazing, and sent a really cool dancing cartoon sticker thing. Thank you, Paul Hollowcat. Not as amazing as you, though, bro. And then Rose Bellman says, original Trump impersonation wasn't feeling so hot. What? Original Trump impersonation wasn't feeling so hot? Oh, you want me to do the one where he says he wasn't feeling so hot? All right. Let me tell you something. When I woke up, I wasn't feeling so hot. I was feeling a little under the weather, not so hot. Then I took a therapeutic called Regeneron. Let me tell you, within 48 hours, there was a major change, all right? I went from feeling not so hot to feeling pretty cool, all right? So I was feeling under the weather, not so hot, and then I started to feel a little more hot so that I wasn't so hot, which actually made me feel cool, all right? So since I was under the weather, not so hot, I needed to become a little hotter so that then I could be cool. Understand? All right. A little drug called Regeneron. Now, even though I took Regeneron, I still recommend that you get 5 boosters. I still recommend 5 boosters, even though I took the therapeutic Regeneron. All right? I still would recommend to you that you get 5 boosters. Now, I, as your next president, am going to make China pay for the 6th round. All right, there you go. There you go. Ta-da! But what we need to do is go back to having a sensible black man in the office. Okay? So if I were in charge, I would put Kamala Harris in charge right now. If I were in charge today, I would put Kamala Harris in charge. I have shown that a black man can and will lead this nation into the future. And so Kamala Harris should be the one running the show. There you go, little attempt at Obama.
Saul Rosenberg with a donation says, Jake, you really are an asshole. You need to get right with God or don't. You see what I'm saying? But I digress. At any rate, could you give us another Richie from Boston? I'm not shitting you.
All right. Hey, YouTube, what's going on? Richie from Boston here. So I've been trying to sell my truck to my subscribers. I've been staying here in Virginia, and let me tell you something. It is cold. We're going into the coldest month of the year. It's February, all right, and it's freezing. And so I'm staying here with my subscribers here in Virginia. They're letting me crash on their couch. They're lovely people. They took the jab. I didn't have the heart to tell them that they just got filled with Chinese GMO DNA. That's right. I didn't have the heart to tell them, you know. I mean, they're nice people. They got kids. The kids have Chinese GMO DNA coursing through their veins right now. But anyway, I digress. So if you want 20% off Patriot Food Supply, you can use the description down below. You're going to want to buy as much as you can possibly buy. You're going to need to go into credit card debt. You're going to want cupboards full of Patriot Supply. Because what are you going to do when the supermarkets shut down in the next coming weeks? The next coming weeks, you're probably going to see the supermarkets shutting down. So 20% off the Patriot Food Supply down below. Buy as much as you can. So there's this and then there is that. But I digress. You're going to want to like, share, subscribe, or don't. I'm out. All right.
There you go. Little Richie from Boston for you. Of course, the world famous impression. I actually did that on BitChute, and there's a ton of people who follow him on BitChute, and they were angry at me. So a lot of people who were searching for Richie ended up on my parody video on BitChute where I was doing Richie's voice, and they were angry at me. Like, how dare you impersonate our Lord and Savior Richie? And I'm like, what is it about Richie that you love so much? He's the best truther there ever was. He did more for the truth than you ever did, you asshole. Like what? What does he do? He like drives around in his truck and says the same shit and then crashes at his subscriber's house on the couch? Like, what does he do that's so wonderful that he has this gigantic fan base? It's like the guy's in terrible shape. He doesn't look very good. He just like drives around and vapes.
Hey, YouTube, Richie from Boston here, and I'm telling you the same shit that I've been telling you for the last 5-6 years.
It's like, what is it that he's done that's like opened up your mind and made you think like, oh, whoa, what a truth bomb. I would have never knew that. Sure, he had some good info along the way, but wasn't it mostly like 85% just,
I'm driving around. I'm in New Mexico in the desert. Today, I'm in California. I'm going to be having a subscriber meetup. Today, I'm in Idaho, and it's so peaceful out here. Let me tell you.
So all he did is just drive around, right? And I could never understand like what it was about this guy that everyone loved. But he's beloved. He is beloved. So if you look on BitChute, he has like 40-something thousand subs on BitChute, which is tough to get that many subs. And he gets tens of thousands of views on BitChute, a place that's like tough to get a ton of traction. And so I did my parody video where I did his voice, and then I posted it on BitChute. And man, let me tell you, his fans get angry if you make fun of their Lord and Savior Richie. Whoo! Jeez. So here on YouTube, everybody was laughing, telling me how great they think the impression was. But over on BitChute, people were like, "Screw you, asshole! Richie's done more in the truth community than you ever have." It's like, that's not true. Uh, he's just more popular than me for reasons I can't explain. Probably because he's a shill, and shills always get a popularity boost, and they're always more popular than they should be. Every shill that I've come across who's a shitbag and a scammer and a liar always seems to have a big subscriber base. And then guys like me who actually tell the truth and who are real, we get blacklisted and shadow banned, and YouTube won't let us grow. YouTube will not let these videos go viral. They won't suggest them to people. No. Meanwhile, Richie, he's still on his channel that he doesn't use anymore, still has like 400,000 subs. And it's like, how the hell did he ever amass that many subs?
Hey, YouTube, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I've been telling you for the last 5 years.
Please, Richie, please do. Saul Rosenberg says, cough, cough, high impact flashlights.
Hey guys, Brian here from High Impact Flicks. Joe Biden said something funny today, and I'm going to tell you all about it. But you're going to want to buy the 5 types of collagen. If you want to look like me, Brian High Impact Flicks, you're going to need the 5 types of collagen. It comes from a bag. So you're going to want to buy this bag of collagen made in a lab. And that's how you're going to be buff like me. So order now. All right, guys, Brian here. Joe Biden said something dumb. I'm going to play a clip. We're going to talk about it. I'm Joe Biden. I'm reading a teleprompter, you stupid son of a bitch. See? He said something funny. He said stupid son of a bitch. That's the video for today. Let's not let these Zio bootlickers win. Order my bag of 5 types of collagen now.
It's like, what is it with all these guys in food? So Richie promotes bags of powder food. Brian High Impact Flicks promotes bags of powdered food. And then you got shills like David Weiss and Jeranism. They promote trail mix, just a bag of crap. Who's the only one that promotes raw milk and doesn't get paid for it? So I don't even get paid for this, but I'm going to sit here and tell you that I drink raw milk. And I look better than all those dudes. I know Brian's buff, but it's because he works out 6 days a week. It's not because he eats that bag of collagen. But when you look at Richie, that dude looks like absolute trash. I wouldn't take any advice from him about buying bags of powder.
Buy as much as you possibly can.
Okay, Richie. So instead, I would recommend you get yourself some of that. Gabriel P says 5G makes me tired. I battle being tired each day, and it also comes down to motivation. Sometimes I struggle with finding proper motivation to do what I want to do, accomplish my goals. And then it can convince me to just get stoned. And then I get stoned, and then I end up getting tired, taking a nap. And then I feel guilty that I wasted that part of the day getting stoned and taking a nap. And so it's this cycle. And so I feel you trying to find proper motivation and energy sometimes in a world that's going to shit, or a bunch of sheeple around you are acting like absolute tard muffins. It can be hard to find energy and motivation. And it doesn't even have to be 5G that's doing it to you. Hell, it can just be just the negative state of the world right now, and all these electronics around us at all times, all these electronic frequencies hitting us. it can easily drag down even the most positive of people. Campesino Verdado says, I think Richie is a controlled opposition or one of those Christian, almost QAnon type prophets. He's controlled ops. Controlled ops, totally. He's just there to drive around in circles, do and say the same thing and drive around in circles. You don't see him grow or change. All the shill channels don't grow and change or evolve. They pretty much just say the same shit over and over and over again. So if you go back and watch me from 2017 and then you watch me now, I've grown and evolved and changed. I didn't used to promote raw meat and raw milk. I didn't used to do all these different impressions during a stream. And so I actually, the way I deliver my content, my personality, I haven't changed drastically 100% on everything, but I've changed and evolved over the years. So you can actually see progression in my personality and changes in my actual life and my looks and everything from 2017 to now, or 2016 when I started. So I started in 2016, and then here in 2022, you can see progression in my personality and in my videos. You can see differences. Whereas a lot of these shills are basically doing the exact same thing, pulling the exact same routine. And Richie's basically one of those guys who's just been driving around in circles doing the same shit. And there's obvious gatekeepers, like pretty much most everybody who considers themselves a truther should know by now that Alex Jones is a gatekeeping shill. But there's still people out there who watch him and listen to him and cheer for him at protests and events and stuff. Like when Alex Jones shows up and he's like,
We can't let the globalists defeat us. We all got to band together. We got to stand together, but with non-violence. Don't do anything violent. Don't anybody do anything crazy. But we got to stand up to these globalists. All right, I'm sick and tired of it. We're gonna stand up and we're gonna eat their ass, but non-violently. We're gonna chew them up and we're gonna spit them out and we're gonna eat them. We're gonna eat their asshole non-violently, of course.
so he shows up and he'll get people all riled up and they'll be like, yeah, Alex Jones, yeah. It's like, who are you people? How come you haven't figured out that he's a shill? So he's like the most well-known shill, and at the same time he still has a giant fan base who still listens and follows him.
When I hear these globalists talking about what they're gonna do to America, it makes me freaking sick.
PJC Net says people like Eric Dubé just repeating the same crap over and over in slightly different ways. Yeah, that guy, he's like trying to make himself look like he's some sort of a guru. He never will go live like I'm doing right now and have a conversation. Oh, that's because it will diminish his guru status if he was to have a live conversation with you and have an actual personality. That's because the guy's a puppet being controlled by handlers. And so he's given a script to read. And then the video is probably might even be produced by someone else. So basically all they have to do is have audio of Eric reading his script. The flat earth is the most wonderful truth that we shall ever know. The minute you learn that the earth is flat and the globe illusion becomes a myth, then that is when. So he reads in this cadence. And it's like he reads every video off of he's reading a script in every one of his videos. So you never get to really see the guy being himself. And furthermore, he's never done any actual flat earth activism. The dude doesn't go out on the streets of Thailand and preach flat earth to people who live in Thailand. He doesn't do any activism whatsoever. And how come he's never like taken a trip back to the United States at all? Ever? So he's never going to come back to the United States even to visit? That seems a little odd to me too. That as big as his channel is and with all his subscribers, how come he didn't like come back and do like a visit here in the States, do a Dubai tour or something, right? And so if you look at the fact that he wore the Illuminati dress, he promotes the NWO vegan death diet, and he pushes the debunked AE map, and he calls me a shill, that's 100% shill COINTELPRO. In fact, he wouldn't dare drink raw milk because he's a shill. He's a shill, so he wouldn't dare take a sip of raw milk. Oh, we got an Eric Dubé fanboy in chat. If it's not Eric himself with a sock puppet. Bye-bye. See you later, loser. Dragonfire says, I don't know how you can drink that warm. It's not that warm. It's slightly warm because it's been sitting out. I put some in my coffee earlier, and it's been sitting out, but it's almost gone. Rob Gunn says, Jake, have you seen the Freedom Convoy protest in Ottawa? You know what? I haven't even really looked into it. I'm going to be honest. I've heard about it a little bit, and I've been, it's on the list of things I need to look at. I just haven't. So I should probably, after I wrap up today's stream, maybe go over to BitChute, take a look at what's up over there, and by tomorrow I'll probably have caught myself up. Subtle Feeling says raw milk is like life elixir, and it's just creamy and tastes good. It's creamy and it tastes good, and I just enjoy it. And so, yeah, I like it. Fusion Density says Cali is supposed to start a convoy. Hey, that's news to me. You know, a part of me thinks these convoys are probably going to be controlled too, but like everything. But I'll look into it probably tonight. I'll do some research into it. It's on the list of topics. I've been lazy with researching every little damn thing because it's always just one thing after another. And so yesterday I learned about the International Space Station being retired. And so that's why I wanted to do today's stream about the space station. So maybe tomorrow I'll do a stream on the convoy. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll look into it tonight, study up on it, and then tomorrow we'll do a convoy stream. All right. Keith Lemon says, I'm vegan, Jake, but I respect your views. Hope you respect mine too. Well, some people claim that it works for them and makes them feel good. And so if you're eating a vegan diet and it isn't deteriorating your body or making you feel like shit, and you think that that's the right thing for you, then who am I to tell you not to do it? All I know is that it didn't work for me, and it didn't work for a lot of people who tried it, and it actually hurt their body. And there's plenty of people who gave up the vegan diet who did it for many years, and they gave it up and reversed all their health issues by eating animal fat. And also, I've seen people just eat raw meat so many times, and I've done it so many times that if there truly was a danger or something wrong with it, then you would have noticed by now. But instead, if you go look at when I was eating mostly vegetables and fruits and stuff back in 2017. I actually look shittier than I look now. Go back and watch my old videos from 2017. My face is all sunken in and I'm scrawny and shitty looking. And now I actually, my skin looks better and my face is filled in and I feel better and I look better. And so I actually looked as though I have reversed my aging since 2017. If you go back and look at me 2017 and 18, I look visibly worse than I do now. All right, y'all. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I've been on here for an hour and a half, and I basically wanted to cover the space station news, and then we got into our impressions like we usually do. So we'll go ahead and let you guys enjoy the weekend, and me and Rusty are going to go enjoy some of the daylight. It's 4 o'clock here, Western Pacific time zone. We have like an hour and a half of daylight left. So me and Rusty are going to get out of this office, go enjoy the sunshine. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys probably tomorrow or Monday, and we'll talk about the convoy. All right, so until next time.
This is Jake, the asshole, saying, I'ma see you next time. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hit the thumbs up button for me. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and have the little bell turned on so you get the notification, and hit the thumbs up before you leave. Smash the thumbs up for me. Please smash the thumbs up for me. If you had a good time with me and Rusty, please smash the thumbs for me. All right. And if you guys want to donate to me outside of YouTube, you want to make sure that I get all of your donation. You can donate to my PayPal. I'll put a link in the chat. So if anyone wants to donate directly to the channel, make sure that YouTube doesn't get a single penny. You can donate right here to the link in the chat. There's my PayPal link. It's also in the description down below. I want to thank y'all for joining us. Thank you all for the wonderful donations, the wonderful comments. You are the best YouTube audience that a guy could ever have. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here. I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Peace.